Happy Friday, good Friday to everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Kathy Weathersby. It is April 18th, 2025, Good Friday. And it is the day that we usually hear from Willie Mooney, our diamond. But up first, it is our illustrious, hardworking, generous, wonderful CEO, Melissa Boston Otoyebe. Are you out there?
Hey, Kathy, I am out here, and I'm not going to be long because I cannot wait for Diamond Mooney. Okay, let him move us this morning. But yes, this is Resurrection Weekend, so happy Resurrection Weekend, happy anniversary weekend, Akana. Yes, it is Good Friday, and we're just here to spread the good news. Okay, so I'm going to jump off by just saying, hey, look, guys, we start the 20% discount has already kicked in, but we have an early bird special today. You will save an extra 6% because remember, this is anniversary weekend. We're celebrating 6 years in business. So for those who put their order in, and if it's over $100, you get that order in by 6 p.m. today, you're getting 26% off, okay? But all weekend long, no worries. Every order will get at least 20%, and that's already in effect right now. But there is something else that's super special. Right now, when you go to your Akana website, okay, you hover over the shop. There's many categories, right? One category you're going to see all the way through Sunday, and then this is actually going to go live on our wakana.com site. But when you go to shop, just scroll down, and you're going to see a category that says wakana.com. When you click on that category, it's going to bring up some of your favorite 420 products, your pre-rolls, your flour, your hempranium, your Flight 100. Oh my goodness, all those products are on that link, which is right there on your site. And guess what? You can buy them yourself without calling Kathy. You'll get that extra 6% when you spend at least $100 by 6 p.m. today. Otherwise, everybody saves 20% because it is anniversary weekend, and that special will last through midnight on Sunday. So I know there's several email campaigns going out with all the details, but just wanted to let you know and spread the good news this morning on Good Friday. So Kathy, back to you so you can bring up our awesome Diamond Mooney.
Wow, wow, wow. Y'all, did y'all hear that? 26%. Wow. Get it out to all of your team. Get it out to all of your customers. This is absolutely the best price on everything until 6 p.m. So I'm excited about that, Melissa. Thank you. I told y'all she was generous, right? So without any further ado, I want to bring on Dr. Minister, the servant leader, the leader of the number one income producing team at Akana, Willie Mooney. Willie?
Great morning, Kathy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh man, I'm excited. 26%. So I
Hey,
wanted to I was gonna click over and click off just to take some advantage of that. I'm like, oh man, let me start sharing. Let me start getting that message out. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, still gotta do the call. Uh, But amazing, man. Let me tell you, Melissa Boston, our CEO, always, always, always drops the mic. So if you don't know, how many people are on this call, Kathy, if I may ask?
currently 35.
35 people, man. So if you just heard what our CEO just shared, oh, wow. I say amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm doing the math already. I'm not gonna tell y'all the math, but y'all know I love numbers. So I can already anticipate what this early morning is gonna look like, what before 6 o'clock is gonna look like. I love numbers. Man. So with that being said, I wanna follow up with what I talked about yesterday. Because I left it in a space, and feel free to go listen to the recording. I'm not going to do a complete review for the sake of time. But yesterday I talked about uh, organized negative chaos versus um, just having clarity and being concise, right? How can I say this? There's some blockers out there that if we're not careful, that you can look at the message yesterday. There's some blockers out there, and if we're not careful, we can confuse some of the daily activity that we do every day, and it can be like totally organized chaos, versus clarity and versus moving in a concise direction. And that's not fun, you all. That's not fun at all. So, what I want to talk to you, I want to talk to the leader in you this morning, right? Because there's clarity commands that you can do that doesn't confuse or cause chaos, right? So, I want to speak to technically the leader in you, right? So, I want you to take a minute and call that person that you know that's the leader in you. Because the thing right now that I do want to make sure that we're talking to is that leader in you that says, I don't like chaos, right? Because clarity really commands a disposition in your life, a positivity in your life, a focus in your life versus chaos, which confuses your life, right? And I'm not just talking about Akana. I'm talking about moving forward with the vision that God gave you, the purpose that He gave you, so that you can move forward in that purpose, and it cuts down on the resistance that you can encounter, right? And I call it chaos. I call it chaos because resistance just pops up, and usually that resistance is what you're battling. You're just not conscious of it. You think it's just normal, and it could be, but some things start to subside based off of you identifying, well, this thing is what I'm afraid of, or this thing is my next level, or this thing, and you just have to jump over that hurdle, right? So let me speak directly to the leaders or that calling of your leadership. So, and I'm not just talking about leadership as a title, I'm talking about it as a functionality, right? So in this season of planting seeds, right? In this season, we have to identify that confusion is not a sign of activity. It's often a symptom of being misaligned with your goals, right? So we're not just planting the seeds. But we want to invoke where we're going to cultivate, right? With sound structure, we're going to duplicate, and clarity is that thing. Having clarity is that thing that leads to that harvest that you're looking for, right? So let's talk about organized negative chaos, right? This is the kind of chaos that looks, right, fairly structured, but has no substance, right? It's being constantly busy. I want to remind you of that. And message starts with me, right? Imagine being busy, but producing no real growth. And I just want to cover a couple points so we can relate, right? So imagine being real busy, but you look at your numbers and there's no real growth. Or you find yourself occupying time doing something, but you might look back and say, what have I been doing for the past couple months? What have I been doing for the past couple weeks? I don't see the outcome, right? Or starting over every week and no clear direction of where you're going, right? And remember, I mentioned yesterday the over planning process, right? But under executing, right? Um, this is so mistaking perfectionism for sound preparation. A lot of times I see myself trying to perfect something that I have not prepared for. And that's organized chaos. Um, doing a lot of different things, doing everything, yet hitting nothing with purpose and power, right? So like it's kind of like being all over the place, right? And let me say that again, doing a whole lot of stuff, doing everything. And I found myself doing this and where I just have to stop and slow down because it seems like it's impactful, but yet I'm not hitting the bullseye and it has no power behind it, right? So even strong leaders can fall into this trap if we're not careful. So I wanted to put out that just as a warning and as a follow up from yesterday. You guys got to excuse me. I was up late last night. I'll talk about that at the end. Maybe I'll mention it, but maybe not. Um, let me talk about this. Here's I want to give you the power of having clear goals and a vision, right? So this brings on clarity, and clarity does a couple of different things. I'm going to name 3 of them, right? So clarity will give you direction. Like you with direction and with, let's say, a compass, and you know where you're going. You don't no longer have to be all over the place, right? Because you know the direction that you're going, right? And you're going somewhere because you've mapped out with clarity. You're clear, you're concise, you know what you want, right? And that's something that we should write down, right? Another thing that clarity does, it not only gives us direction, but let me tell you, when you hit those milestones and when you see that how they say you see the light at the end of the tunnel? Well, that happens, right? So what happens is that you see the direction that you're heading because you mapped it out. You know where you come from in life, whatever the case may be. You're seeing progress, right? So it builds confidence, right? Clarity builds confidence. So you know what to say, right? Yes to, and you know what to say no to. So when somebody steps into your life, if you have clarity and you know what direction you're headed in, chances are you won't divert and you're very bold and confident in the direction that you're headed in. So it makes it easier for certain things to say, no, I'm not doing that. Or yes, I am. So lately, message with me, I've been learning how to say no. Versus, it doesn't matter if I love a person. It doesn't matter sometimes it doesn't matter what my flesh wants to do or my brain side. If I have a goal and direction, I'm learning how to say, well, you know what? It's out of alignment with where I want to go and where God is taking me. So I love you, but no, I'm gonna have to say no, right? And one of the other things that clarity does is it drives duplication. I think when I come back, and I'm gonna say I think, because I wait for my team to say what it is that they receive from me, and when I look at I try to stay in a certain space with my team, and I think that because I come back and I say some of the same things while doing the same activity, because I'm headed in the same direction with the same bold confidence, and I'm not lukewarm in that area. I think that's a great part of driving the duplication that I may see in my team, right? So your team can follow a system. It can't follow chaos. So I'm quick, and I haven't always been like this. I'm quick to resolve a situation or sometimes not entertain drama, gossip, chaos. I'm quick to humble myself if I feel that I'm being, it ain't fair. whatever, I wait it out, and I try to continue to be a leading example of a system. I just follow the system. I follow what God tells me to do. And it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's possible. So what I would like to do is just pause for a minute, you all reflect, right? And I would encourage, because this is something that is a good practice just to do. This is where I get what I call my chin checks. I take my time, right? And I ask myself, and I want you to ask yourself as a leader, what specific goal are you focused on this week? Like, I want you to really think about that and write it down, right? What specific goal are you focused on this week? What are the top 3 activities that directly move you, or I'm going to say move? I want you to ask yourself this. What are the 3 activities, the top 3 that'll move me towards that goal? What can you do? What's your goal? Be real with it. And then, what are the top 3 activities that you can do to move towards that goal? Right? I want you to ask yourself, and this is something that I had to ask myself, is my leadership model simple enough for my team to duplicate it? You could be a Michael Jordan all day, but I ain't too many people that I've seen jump from the free throw line and slam dunk. They called him Air Jordan because he knew how to fly. And even R. Kelly made a song about it. Well, let me just say this. Maybe you have the ability to do a whole lot of different things, but is it duplicable? And then can your team do it? That's a big question to look at, right? I had to do that, right? Doesn't matter what creative thing that I could come up with. One thing that I do love is the simple systems that our CEO lays out for us. A duplicable system. So I follow that. And now I can be very creative. I could do a whole lot of things. But is it duplicable? Some of the things that I think about that I could do, I have to bring my team in mind. I think about Pam Dye, who's in New York. I think about Paula G. I know my ride or die. Let me just say that my wife will say, babe, let's get it. I know the warrior, the blood type O, and Minister Ernestine. Some people are, I call supernatural. But is it duplicable for the average person? And if you are that superpower, right, and how you're very creative, you know how to maybe just evaluate to say, is it duplicable? So one thing I want you to, I've had to look at, and I want you to look at it too. I'm only giving you the messages that God has given me through the examples and the things that I've done that I've made a mistake. I'm going to clearly say that, man, some things I've done, that was wrong. It was learning experience. But what distractions, right, am I allowing in my life to detour me from my goal and my vision and for purpose? What are the distractions? Is it TV? Is it procrastination? Is it somebody that's loud, too noisy and loud in your ear? Right? What is it? Write it down and then acknowledge it and let's deal with it. Right? See, if it's not moving the vision forward, it's moving you further from your harvest that we're going to talk about. Right? So here's the truth of the matter. You can't lead people out of chaos if you're living in it. Minister Mooney, you can't move your team out of chaos if you're the one who's living in it too. So we have to be a standard of clarity our team is looking for. Minister Mooney, I only had one person on my team, then be that example, right? Be that transparent, be that vulnerable, and deal with those things. Deal with some of those things. So here's the leadership challenge for this week, right? Write a clarity statement to yourself, right? This week, I am focused on launching, maybe it's 3 teammates with a simple 7-day plan. This week, I'm focused on doing personally. If y'all looked at my pictures, look at the video. Don't judge me, but this is my clarity statement for myself. This week, myself and my wife are doing a 7-day cleanse, right? And I'm going to invite some people to it to do it with me. And it's already started, right? Just because I spoke it into existence. I went shopping yesterday with my wife, So, what is your clarity statement for this week, right? And let me challenge you with number 2. We have clarity. Let's now work on number 2. Eliminate one chaotic habit, just one. I'm not going to say let's just go through everything. Remember yesterday, if you heard me, I said, man, I'm going to eliminate this chaos in this office that I have, because I was looking around while I was doing the message, and I'm like, oh my God, you set me right in it while I'm giving this message. Message always starts with me. So maybe it's constantly maybe you're going to eliminate constantly switching your focus. Maybe you're distracted by something, right? Maybe it's delaying conversations, doing the 3-way. Maybe that's it, right? And I spoke about that a couple, messages ago, right? Maybe that's something that needs to happen. Maybe you need to move forth and eliminate the habit of not doing 3 days. That's chaos. I'm gonna just tell you, because we know that the harvest is. We just said the fortune is not only in the follow up, but the power of the 3-way call, right? The power of the upline, right? So let's cut out chaos and prioritize clarity. Let's stop recycling chaos. Let's lead with purpose. Let's build systems, y'all, not stress. Right? Let's trade the appearance of progress for the power of clarity. Let me say that one more time. Let's trade the appearance of progress. Right? The appearance of progress. See, doing a lot of stuff, being busy, that looks like you're progressing, right? But there's something that you can do. You can add power to that, right? By having clarity. So I want to say this because I see you. I see you, Akana. I see you, distributors. I see you, 35 people that are on this call. You made it here. And I'm proud of you, right? And it's not just because of you CV and you ranking up, but I'm proud of you because you keep pushing. You keep showing up, right? So let's go out this week. This is 420. This is the weekend of 420. Let's go out. Let's roll through it. Let's take it by force, right? Let's lead like we have a harvest that depends on us, because it does, right? Let's just do it. So with that being said, once again, I love you all. You're hearing some of my convictions. Like I said, message always starts with me. And like I God gave me this, and I'm going to keep saying it. I got the power to move you. God bless. Back to you, Kathy. Oh, leaders and above. See you on the next call.
Awesome. Rubies and above, you mean, on the next call? All of us are leaders on this call. But and I won't be there. I've got a breakfast appointment with that classmate I was telling you guys about on Wednesday. Do remember that today is this month is a double CV month. 26% today, guys. Oh my Lord. If you haven't made it to 500 CV, this should help. I know I'm going crazy. While Willie was talking, I was texting, and I cannot wait to get to my breakfast appointment, because now I can tell them it's 26% off. So plus the save 10, y'all. If it's a new customer, 26% plus the save 10. This is the time for them to get that doggone cleanse, for them to get that family pack, for them to get that sick. I mean, y'all, it's time for them to get all of the packs and everything. This is your double CV month. This is the day to do it. This is the weekend to do it. You love your company. We love our products. And I'm so excited that you can click on wakana.com from your drop down and shop and get all of your 420 stuff. So run, and continue to push for your CV. And listen, guys, go out and have an Akana kind of day. Happy anniversary to everyone here. Have a wonderful resurrection weekend. And we'll see you on tomorrow for a opportunity meeting. Sunday for your opportunity meeting. Guys, tune in, stay plugged in, and keep going. Have a great rest of the day. Have an Akana kind of day. See you soon.